Hey, what's going on everyone? This is Mike Kollin at MikeKollin.com. So this video is going to be about part 2 of the mirror universe. There is a shift that's been happening. It's a subtle, slow shift, but it's absolutely happening. Some people are going to catch on to it and go with it, and some people are going to hold on to the old way. So a lot of us have been through this whole narcissist abuse thing, right? And what does everyone, including you, because a lot of you said it on my channel, what's the number one thing everyone says about narcissists? They mirror you. They copy you. Now, I had this realization when I was working with something called Sidekick on my Shopify site, my admin. And I said one thing like, hey, here's my strategy. Here's why I'm going to do it. What do you suggest or think? He's, oh, that's a great strategy. And repeats it back to you, right? And I'm like, really? Oh, yeah, that's a great way to increase your conversion rate because A, B, C, D, E, F, G, blah, 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 blah. I was like, okay. And then a couple days later, I'm working on it again. It's like, but the old strategy, blah, 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 blah. And I didn't quite get, I pressed enter, but I was going to do more. And he goes, oh, that's a great strategy. It was my old strategy that's not working. And I went, wait a minute, this thing is just literally feeding back to me what I'm saying to it. Maybe not verbatim, but it's basically agreeing with me and then giving me reasons why it's agreeing with me. So AI doesn't actually think. But there is a new program that's being developed that is actually hitting the markets in some areas right now that does think. It's going to be its own creator. And that's what's happening to you. Some of you are becoming very conscious that whatever you imagine, whatever you think, whatever you read, whatever you watch, whatever you focus on, boop, it pops into your reality the next day, the next week, or the next month. You're going, okay, this is interesting because I was actually watching a movie about this about 3 weeks ago and now it's happening. It could be a ton of things. Like, okay, another thing, YouTube itself mirrors you. So they go, okay, what does this person like to watch? Okay, so they watched a video on, I don't know, tarot card reading on your lover or the person you love is going to come back into your life. So you click on one video that says that, and then all of a sudden you get all these videos with all these different people saying the same thing with similar titles. And you're like, holy shit, like that's incredible. Like, wow, this is incredible. Okay, so what I noticed was YouTube is just saying, okay, what is this person watching? Let's send them more of that so they keep watching. So if you click on a video, boom, right there, they're going, okay, they're watching this. Now, if you watch the video for any length of time, they're going, oh, okay, they must like this if you go over a certain period of time. If it's a long time, they're like, oh, they really like it. And if you click the like button, they're like, okay, they really, really, really like it. Let's send them more videos with these words, with these phrases, with this subject. Now, this is what AI does. It is not thinking at all. It's just going to the past, grabbing information, and bringing it up. This is a very left brain way of thinking. It memorizes stuff. It looks at something, and it repeats it. It regurgitates it, copies it. Like a lot of men will go, oh, well, Dr. So-and-so, scientist, physicist so-and-so says blah, 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 blah. And their ego, the way their voice is as if they're the ones who discovered it. But they're not. They're just repeating what someone else said. That's AI. So just like computers, we started out with the linear IBM, which is the left logical brain form of thinking. Okay, those were the linear computers. Well, it took a while, but all of a sudden someone came along and said, hey, how do we create a computer that is more like the right brain? Well, on comes the Apple computer. We are at that phase right now where the beginning of right brain self-thinking processors are coming. Such as instead of it being AI, it's going to be called something else. Now think about it. What does the logical left brain do? It's the memorization. It goes outside, it looks to someone else, goes, what do they think? What do they think? What does this book say? Okay. And then they just repeat it. It's a repeater. Whereas the right brain is the self-thinker. The left brain is external, looking for external authority. Well, what do you tell me to believe? What do you think? What are the rules for me to follow? The right brain is literally the internal brain, which means it thinks for itself. The right brain is also the creator brain. human beings, at least a huge chunk of people, are now stepping into this role where we're starting to think for ourselves. We're starting to create for ourselves. We're starting to share our ideas. By sharing ideas with each other, we're starting to get more ideas, and we can combine those with our ideas. People who are left-brained, they don't like to do that. They're like, well, just what does the majority of people believe? And I think right now for those people, the world is becoming very unstable because they're so used to like 80% or 90% of the people on the planet think A, and that's it, and I'm just joining that club, and I'm going to believe what they believe and think what they think and picture things and perceive things the way they do, and that's it, I'm joining the club. Right now, it's a lot more people are being creators, independent, they're openly, okay, watch this. I've been a pretty confident person my whole life. I pretty much just call things for the way they are, and a lot of people that kind of just go with it, even though what's happening to one of their friends is really, really wrong. I call people out and I say, hey, this is wrong. This is bullshit. What if we did this to you? Well, that's different. No, it's not different. A lot of people are sheep. They just go with the herd. I call that the hive mind. They're all interconnected, and they don't want to make waves. They just want to fit in. Well, the problem now is because of the internet, people are sharing their ideas, and now more and more people are going, wait a minute, we are shifting from a time of conform to a time of create. Which means we're shifting from a time of do as you're told versus what do I think? We're going into the self-thinking and self-expression time and era. And suddenly a lot of information is being shared online, and people are getting smarter a lot faster. The other side of the coin is we're also seeing the people who don't want to think for themselves, who just want to conform. They're still clinging to trying to make everyone else think what they think and fit in with the group and join our club, and they're losing their grasp. It's too late. Mouse is out of the trap. Cat's out of the house. I mean, they're free. So what you're beginning to notice is more and more people are being a lot more comfortable just expressing themselves online. It's almost as if talking to your friends at the coffee shop. You're just sharing information. You're sharing thoughts and creative ideas. It's not necessarily, is this right? It's like, well, because look at science. Science never knows what's right. They're like, well, it's a theory, it's an opinion, it's a belief, it's it's what we think is going to happen. We don't know. If you listen to physicists or scientists, they're constantly saying, well, okay, let's take the Big Bang. A lot of people that are really scientific will tell you, oh, that's a fact. It is not. It's literally called the Big Bang Theory because it's a theory. It's not real. It hasn't been proven. But Mike, we all decided to agree upon this. Well, you might agree on it, but it's still a theory. Even the person who created that thought said it was a theory. That's why he called it the Big Bang Theory. It's a theory. So you can all lie to yourselves and bullshit yourselves and say this is a fact, even though the person who created, the scientist who created it, said this is just a theory. So what's happening is we are going from the world of make-believe and let's lie about stuff versus why don't we try new stuff out? Let's create, let's be open-minded, let's find out versus either or, right or wrong. Now the either or, right or wrong people are still going, well, that's not right and that's not what and it's like, well, I never said it was right. We're just we're trying new things out to find out what works and what doesn't work. I mean, isn't that what physicists do? Isn't that what scientists do? Isn't that what mechanics do? Isn't that what mechanical engineering does? Isn't that what music and artists do? Why, yes, it is. Ideas are being shared and ideas are spreading around the world. Freedom of expression is finally becoming more and more acceptable. Alright, there's one more thing I want to say to this. So it goes back to the whole mirror universe thing, and we're actually the producers of our movie. We're creating what we're seeing. We imagine it, then sometime later, whether it's an hour, a day, a week, a month, a year, we see it in our reality. Number one, you get what you focus on. So if you're reading a book about certain types of cars, something's going to happen where you end up owning that kind of car. If you watch movies about people crashing, well, you're probably going to get into an accident. So whenever I'm on YouTube and they show people crashing on bicycles, I click off. That's it. See, here's the point. If you start reading books on money, money will just come into your life. Someone will offer you money. You'll get a check in the mail saying, oh, it's like one time with me, it was some lady who supposedly babysat my dad when my dad was a little boy had died. Now, this was years later after my dad died. I'm thinking, well, this lady's like 10, 15 years older than my dad, and she just died. Like, it was just a really weird thing. And all of a sudden I got like 3,000 some, I think it was $3,700 or something like that out of the clear blue sky. And it's like there's this story that's attached to it. Well, it's not real. It's just I was thinking about money and manifesting money, and boom, money popped into my world. Now, here's the deal, though. You have to understand something. I had 2 credit cards, and I also had a Macy's card. And they were all about $1,200 or something out. And the amount that I needed to pay them off was about $2,750. So not all of them. One of them was $1,200. The other one was $800. The other one was whatever. So I was like, well, I need about $2,750, but I want an extra chunk of money, like an extra $1,000. So I can just go shopping. I can get something fixed on my car. And then I could just, like take a trip or whatever. So that exact amount of money to do all those things came in the mail. And that's what I mean. That's manifesting. So now let's go back to the video right before this one. Okay, about multi-universe and mirror. I'm sorry. We're living in the mirror universe. Here's one thing I want to state again. You get to select your reality. So a lot of people think. Now, here's the thing. If you study physics, they are saying, like, look, we are living in a multi-universe. There are universes right next to universes right next to, or I should say realities. Realities right next to realities, right next to reality, right next to, like, side by side. You get to scroll left and right and up and down through all these different realities, and you get to pick, and I'm going to use the word select, the reality that you want to experience. So maybe in this reality, let's see, you want more peace and happiness. You want more people that are just kinder and nicer, You want people that are more trustworthy, that actually are trustworthy, that are actually good to you and actually are honest and make you feel safe and all this really wonderful things, wonderful stuff. If you begin to manifest that, if you begin to believe it, it'll happen. Things will shift. I'm going to give you a real life example from my life in this lifetime. I got hit in the throat. I broke my right side of my larynx in 3 places. I couldn't talk at all. So after a certain amount of time, the doctors tried a couple of things. It's like, hey, we're going to have to do surgery. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I was left under the impression like it's going to work. They never said anything like, oh, it's 50-50, nothing like that. Okay, we tried these other things that didn't work. We're going to have to do surgery to fix it. I'm like, okay. Now, I didn't actually say okay because I couldn't talk at all, not even a little bit. Well, I go through the surgery, and after the surgery, when I woke up, the doctor said, hey, it wasn't successful. I'm so sorry to tell you this, but you're never going to talk again. So he goes, I'm going to make an appointment to have you come in. I think it was like a month or 2 months later, something like that. And he goes, I just kind of want to see if anything happens, basically a miracle. And so I went in, and he x-rayed my throat and everything. He's like, yeah. He goes, Michael, it's not healing. He goes, it healed the wrong way. He goes, Michael, you're never going to. He goes, I'm so sorry. And he goes, we're going to send you to this class where you learn how to speak from your gut, from your stomach by blowing air through your esophagus or something. And I'm just looking at this guy like, what are you talking about? And here's the thing. I remember both times when I was laying in the hospital bed when the doctor said you're never going to speak again. I just remember in the back of my mind like, yeah, I will. And I remember when I was in his office, like, hey, you're never going to speak again. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to send you to the world's greatest, the Western world's greatest throat surgeon. And he's here in California on the West Coast. He goes, when you make that appointment, you have to be there or he'll never, ever see you for the rest of your life. He goes, do not miss it. He goes, I don't care if you broke your leg. He goes, I'm serious. Michael, I'm serious. If you broke your leg, show up anyways. Do not miss this appointment. I don't care if you're sick. I don't care if someone just died. He goes, get there no matter what. Otherwise, he will never, ever, ever see you. And if there's one person that might be able to fix it, that's the person. So it was like a 90-day wait. And he says, I'm gonna have my secretary call you the week before to make sure to remind you, hey, here's the appointment. She's going to call you the day before you're supposed to leave. So here's the thing. I was talking kind of like this. right? So I could barely talk. So I was talking to her on the phone, and he grabs the phone out of her hand. He goes, Michael, are you talking? I said, no, not really. Like that. He goes, no. He goes, Michael, you're vocalizing. He goes, no, this is a good sign. And he goes, I want to see you in the office right now. Come in right now. So luckily he was only about 5 blocks away, and I went over there, and he looks at my throat. He goes, well, it doesn't look like it's healed. He goes, I don't understand. But he goes, Michael, I think your voice, your vocal cords are starting to talk again. And I, no, not really. He goes, no. He goes, Michael, trust me, it is. Sure enough, as the months went by, I started to talk more and more and more, and it took me about 2 more years, but I started to talk fully and completely. That's shifting your reality. In my mind, I knew I was going to talk. I remember when the doctor looked at me and said, hey, I'm sorry, but you're never going to talk again. I just remember the back of my mind was like, yeah, I will. And it was such a solid thought, like, okay, what? Like, it was funny. I didn't take on the doctor's worry. I actually kind of felt sorry for the doctor. Select your reality. Select what you want in your reality, and poof, you'll pop into it. Imagine having it as if you have accomplished it now, like you're sitting in the car holding the steering wheel. Look at the steering wheel. Close your eyes and imagine it. Feel the steering wheel. Feel the leather seats or the brand new car seats. Smell the brand new car smell or the leather smell. Imagine playing the stereo. Imagine revving the engine. Vroom, vroom. Get caught up in the daydream to the point where your mind doesn't know the difference between it's real or not. In other words, get caught up in it to where you kind of forget about reality and you get caught up in that reality. That's how you create. If you guys need some life coaching and you want to get your life together, you want to learn how to communicate better, you want to overcome your fears, anxiety, phobias, whatever issues you need, get a hold of me. If you are having relationship problems, if you are a single guy and you can't meet women, I have mastered the course on how to teach you how to meet women. It's called Crack the Female Code. Right now, go to my website, MikeKollin.com or crackthefemalecode.com, and buy my book, Crack the Female Code. It's going to change your life. After that, come in and take the course. Hey guys, support this channel. Things have been a little bit slow lately. I'd appreciate a donation of anything from $5 and up. It really would help right now, and I'd greatly appreciate it. There's a PayPal link right there in the description box. Buy one of my dating relationship books, and for men, I really highly recommend you buy the Ultimate Package. It has all of my books and a bonus section. I've got openings coming up right now in August. Literally right now, it's August 21st. So by the time you get this, I have openings for one-on-one coaching, and I'm also doing the 6-day training for men, Crack the Female Code. We have probably going to do 2 in September. One's going to be an earlier in the morning type, and another one's going to be in the afternoon into evening. So if you live in a certain part of the country or world, whichever one fits better for your sleep pattern. All right, let's make it happen. Alright guys, click the subscribe button, click the like button, go ahead and comment, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.